never little bro me. Euro step like Ginobili, from young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats, circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold dance, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's a reach. We ready? Who ready?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the One-on-One Sports Show here on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. I'm Mr. Bennett. Oh, why am I so much smaller than you? That's better. I'm Mr. Bennett, joined by my 7B brother. And for those of you who don't know about the 7Bs, that's the bold and the beautiful, beneficent, benevolent ball brotherhood of the BMU network. And so we're certainly, as always, up front and center. And certainly good to have you guys with us on this last show before the Super Bowl. So obviously we'll sort of finish off this show with our Super Bowl picks. Just make sure when you come in tonight, make sure you hit the like button. Certainly helps our algorithm when you do that. And also consider dropping a Cash App or a Super Chat to the Black Man Unfiltered Network. You see his details scrolling, his Cash App, Black Man Unfiltered, at the bottom of the screen. And certainly anything that you want to give to us personally, here are our Cash Apps, our individual Cash Apps scrolling at the bottom of the screen. But again, good to be with you guys. We're going to chop it up. We're going to talk a little NBA. Certainly a lot of activity started happening since yesterday, so we're going to get into that a bit as well. But before we get into that, just want to check in with the coach. You should be in San Fran right now, sir. I mean, somebody's going to need you on the sidelines over there. So I'm just saying, how you doing?
How you doing, man? Yeah, man, I wish they would call me, man. I go over and, motivate them a little bit. Give them a little bit.
Shout out to our guy, Tommy B, who's actually working the game. He dropped some pictures on of his workout there. So he's working the game today, or certainly throughout the week. So hopefully he'll be able to get a chance to see some of the festivities in the game itself. But certainly that's an awesome opportunity. Certainly be in that position. So, shout out to him for, being, in that position. But yeah, man, let's talk a little NBA. I mean, obviously we know the big game's coming up. So, and these shows over there, I'm about to go into depression, coach, because obviously pro football is probably my favorite sport. And so when you go into like the February, and then you're waiting until the combine, and then you're waiting for the draft and whatnot, there's sort of this lull in the action a little bit. So I'm a little, I kind of get this sort of melancholy about me when I'm trying to, really get back and engage, with the football and whatnot. And that new league that I don't know what they call it now, UFL or whatever it is, that's not kind of getting me at that. But it may have to do. I may have to check out some arena football or some Canadian CFL or something to tie me over, or maybe I just go back on YouTube and watch some of the old classic games from back in the 70s or something. That's a big thing I do a lot. To steal the teams from the 70s, I go back and watch some of those highlight reels and games and whatnot out there. But yeah, man. But let's talk a little NBA. Certainly, as we certainly get the show started. Let me just share my screen. We haven't really talked a lot of NBA, certainly in recent weeks, obviously because of all the football that's going on. Let's just take a snapshot of kind of where everything is, where the teams are. So, again, Detroit, who was certainly an up-and-coming team last year, got a lot of young talent. Certainly they're doing their thing, leading the Eastern Conference by 5.5 games. So, they're certainly doing well. The Knicks are surprisingly doing well. We were talking all of last year about the coaching change that they were going to do and who was going to be the head coach and whatnot, but they've certainly put together a very respectable year. And then my Celtics, even though they lost certainly one of their key players, certainly Jaylen Brown is having certainly an MVP all-pro type of season. So, he's certainly carrying the load for that team as well. And certainly on the West Coast, I mean, obviously Oklahoma City, they were on a record pace at one point. I think they got out something like 28 games or something like that. 28. It was like, I think they either tied or got very close to the record for most wins. And so they got out the gate fast, but they sort of cooled off a little bit. I think they're dealing with some injuries. And watch out for San Antonio. I mean, we all know they got, the team they have over there, they're going to be scary. And certainly the last thing I'll notice is just how the mighty have fallen. I mean, certainly Indiana Pacers was within just a couple bad breaks from possibly snatching an NBA final, but their main player went down. And, so certainly that really set them back. And, Halliburton's pretty much out for the year. And you see how they've taken a serious drop in their placings at this point. And so it just goes to show that, certainly things can happen very quickly from season to season. There's no guarantee that just because you made it to the NBA Finals, there's no guarantee that you'll get back to it. And even if you win it, again, there's no guarantee that, you'll go back to it. So a lot of activity and whatnot. But before we get into some of the trades that have been taking place, if you guys want to just comment, give sort of like your high level overview of the season so far. Like I said, I haven't watched a ton of basketball as of yet. I'm just not there yet with so many games to be played. But, any thoughts on that? But before we do that, shout out to our guy, Shawnee. What's going on, sir? How you doing?
I'm doing good. See, we've finally talking basketball today.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, you can't help. I mean, week to week. I mean, NFL, even college ball. I can't get into all that much with the college game until you start getting into bowl season, because half the games don't matter because everyone's playing deep Division II teams for the most part. But NFL, it's like every week is a conversation, or every week's a happening. So it's not surprising that it's like the number one sport in America right now. But yeah, certainly we can talk a little NBA and the things that are coming up. I know the All-Stars game's coming up in a couple weeks. But yeah, any thoughts? Start with you, Shawnee, on the season so far. What's sort of caught your eye in terms of these standings? What teams surprised you? What teams have disappointed you so far?
Well, the West is being the West. You got a lot of teams 2 through 5. They just within 3 games. You can include 6. Phoenix, they with 3 games of each other. A nice 3-game win streak. They tend to beat up on each other. Oklahoma City started off the season super hot.
Yeah.
And it was San Antonio that really just started to cool them off. They beat them the first 3 times they played. Then Oklahoma finally won Game 4 between them. But you have some like the Warriors. They obviously struggling without Steph. Timberwolves, I'm kind of surprised, and they is the 7th seed, and Phoenix is above them right now, even though they got the same record. Phoenix probably over the top record. That's probably why they got the seed above them. And that's surprising because, Dylan Brooks, who was traded with KD during the Phoenix Rockets trade, I think he's having like career highs over there all of a sudden in Phoenix. Clippers, they actually on a nice little, like within the last 20 games, they've been winning. So they actually pretty hot, but I don't know how they're going to be now since the Harden trade.
Mm-hmm. See, why'd you have to give the detail away before we got there, man? I was
trying I was just going by the standards. They was playing good.
Good.
Now on the East, I'm surprised about Boston because you remember they lost Tatum.
Yeah.
And I didn't think they was going to be at least a top 3 seed in the East right now. Matter of fact, they playing Houston tonight. Toronto is looking good. Cleveland, who was majority of the time number 1 seed last year, I think they even finished. They went into the playoffs number 1 seed. They've been kind of struggling, but again, we're going to see what the trade will do to them. Detroit has been playing very good, very good. So it's some teams. It looks like it's a young movement. It's definitely a young movement. I think a lot of the teams in the East are younger than the West, as far as the average player. Mm-hmm. But you seeing some of the youth movement on some of these squads. I thought Orlando would be playing a little bit better, but we still got the second half of the season remaining. So, and before I pass to the coach, what you was mentioning earlier about kind of like having, just that lack of interest in the basketball season early on, that's kind of what the commission has been battling against, trying to make all these changes in the NBA Cup in the middle of the season,
right?
Try to bring that interest back to the regular season.
But I don't know if was it ever that high of an interest to begin with.
It was.
with the NFL going on, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like that's a hard. You're never going to capture. I mean, December playoffs, when that stuff starts up, it's going to be hard to capture anyone's attention from any sport.
It was when NFL. Remember, the NFL got greedy and started taking their holidays. Christmas was big for basketball. Then the NFL took some, and then because Christmas was really like the start off point to really because that's when the NBA was putting some very good games on during Christmas time. And once NFL started going after these holidays, and what's that? Thursday, Fridays. I mean, what they had? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, y'all just being. It was, but the NFL got greedy, and paired with the stuff that we see with NBA players today, they don't really take it as serious. So it's like a perfect storm mixture going on with the NBA right now.
Right. Coach, your thoughts on the season so far from what you've been able to see?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think the NBA is getting younger because the players are who they are. You can see, I think they just all trying to align to score more points because, some of the trades in a sense don't make sense to me. And the players are who they are. I think they need to go younger by putting, I don't know, no more 20-year retirees, and no more LeBron James, 40-year-old playing, keep it young, keep it fresh, instill a little different rules. First 5 years, I think you should, if you jumping 42 inches and doing these highlight dunks in the game, I think you should be summoned to be in the dunk contest, especially if you in your first 4 or 5 years when you're still trying to grow. But I like the parity in the league. I like the parity. I'll just say as far as the Bucks, they probably my disappointment with Giannis because he's giving up on his team. He don't even really want to play. And now the Bucks could be stuck with him because the Bucks are asking for too much. But some teams like the Thunder, they have 8, 9 first-round picks over the next 2 or 3 years. So it's going to be interesting to see how when they bubble bust, what they do to those players because I think they have the deepest team. Detroit, of course, should be competitive. Boston, they're the surprise winning team to me because they're doing this without their future. And he could possibly come back towards the end of the season, close to playoff time. And Boston could still be in the running for the championship because Detroit's still young, still trying to learn. So it's going to be interesting. And I'm interested to see how these trades turn out with the big, Cleveland trade and the Clippers. So that's going to be and then with, a couple of the Grizzlies, I'm interested to see what they do with Ja. Because if he goes anywhere that's a contender, I think he'll elevate them. If he stays on the right track, he got to focus on the game. But It's going to be interesting down the stretch,
Gotcha. Well, let's get in some of the trade talk. Obviously, the big one of the big trades took place. So again, this is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is from last year, right? So again, Dallas certainly has been in the news last year. The big shakeup in Dallas and the outrage of the Luka Doncic trade for Anthony Davis, and these certainly were the terms of that trade from last year and all the fallout that we have from that. And Dallas, I guess they continue to make moves because the recent trade now is you got this Anthony Davis is going to the Wizards, and so you got him, Hardy, Russell, D'Angelo Russell, and Exum certainly going to the Wizards, and I guess Dallas gets all this talent and these draft picks in return. And now the Wizards, certainly, if you look at them, certainly they're, certainly building a team with some veteran talent, and so this is what the new lineup is looking like at this point. So, who do you guys think came out on this side of the trade? Who do you think got the bigger haul? Because my thing with Washington. Just like the Clippers were for a lot of years before they were bought out, it just seems like with the Wizards, there's been just years and years of ineptitude for so long. And again, I don't know what their management or ownership structure is at this point, but if you look at just over time, Found this one. These are all of these players who played for the Clippers, went to other teams, and won championships with other teams. So again, I don't know if it's the management over there or are they trying a new approach, but can they win with this current team with Trae Young and now Anthony Davis? Certainly added to the roster. Can they get back into it? Because I think currently in the standings, if I just go back to it, certainly they are, again, near the bottom. And so I don't know if there's any salvaging for this season. So again, to Trey's point, I don't see how this particular trade makes sense or how's that going to improve them that much where they can get back into contention for a playoff bid at this point. So I don't know what they're doing down there. But again, it's been years that the Washington team or we got to go back coach to the Washington Bullets the last time they were relevant. You know what I mean? That's you're talking the 70s when they were relevant. Shawnee, what were your thoughts certainly on the trade? And who do you think got the better of the deal from this trade?
Well, obviously with this trade, this is like part two of the trade because part one was how the Mavs got themselves in this situation in the first place when they originally traded Luka and Davis. And my question is, when it comes to that trade, do you also include, even though there's two different transactions, but they kind of like the same because do you include Cooper Flagg in this trade? Because kind of it helped the Mavericks get super lucky to get the number one overall pick to get Flagg. So if they kept Luka, they obviously would have finished better in the season, which, even though they already had a low chance of getting number one seed, who knows, they probably still would have been to get number one. But I think I think when they traded Luka, they ultimately became a lottery team, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember exactly where they finished. And if they kept Luka, they would have finished outside of being a lottery team. So that being able to pick up Flagg, it looks like it's a part of this trade as far as the collateral from it. Now, if you just stick it to the trade, obviously LA won that trade. And then now we fast forward to this trade. It really shows LA won the trade. Now we don't even have to do the trade. He barely stayed for a year. And Anthony Davis is a top 75 player, and he's on that list, the top 75 the NBA came out with. So his talent is undeniable. But the dude he's not available. And I think his first season with the Mavs, he only played, when he got traded to the Mavericks, he only played 9 games. And then so far this season, he played 20 of the 50 games. And he recently, as of January 8th, is out 6 weeks with a hand injury. So it's like, okay, Wiz, you got Anthony Davis. I remember the same thing that was when he was traded from the Lakers to the Mavs. Everybody, because obviously he was a better overall player than Luka. Because Luka's just extremely elite offensively, but it's like he sacrificed everything else for offense. But we was like, okay, if Kyrie and AD, they could potentially take Dallas further, do more damage ultimately in the finals if they can get there, because they had a good team on paper with those two. Kyrie got hurt, and every time it looked like AD would get hurt, come back within like a week or two, he gets hurt again. So I don't see this changing in Washington. So, and just to piggyback off the trade, I remember telling boys, like, I know when they traded Luka, and they still are, DFW was pissed off. I mean, they was talking about it for months. And then, obviously, you saw when Nico was fired, they were celebrating, even though I thought Nico was the ultimate scapegoat. I think there was some sketchy stuff going on back there. But I was like, if they are patient enough, because I was telling everybody, Cooper Flag is legit. And because he competes. I'm like, Cooper Flag will probably make you ultimately like, okay, Luka gone, we can focus about Cooper. Because Cooper Flag is a good offensive player who may be great. He needs to work on his three-point shooting. But he's a good offensive player. He has a total offensive package. Can pass, rebound, competes, has a good mid-range game, and then he's hella competitive on defense.
He'll never score the points that Luka scored. Never.
But that's the thing. Luka is all offense. Literally, Luka is all offense. And then with Luka, you also got to deal with the frustrations of him, his defense, because he whines so much to the refs. He puts his team at risk defensively because he's always on the other side of the court whining and complaining about the refs about a foul call being missed. So me being a Rockets fan, I've seen this before. I mean, even though Luka led them to the finals, but he couldn't do it by himself for the most part. But I've seen this before. It's hard to win in this NBA when you basically putting the ball in one player's hand and let him dribble, and expecting him to create plays for everybody else. Eventually, it's going to take it out. They was able to get to the finals one year, but we've seen this. That is not a sustained success in the NBA.
Yeah,
I mean, James Harden was killing dudes with that, even though he had something else going on. He wasn't doing nothing in the playoffs. But even when he won an MVP season, it still didn't have, they couldn't have prolonged success with that. So, but with Cooper Flag, I don't think he's going to be the offensive player that Luka is. But he's already better than Luka and everything else. Like, he is the complete.
They'll never go to the finals with him as their lead man.
That's
Never.
Because y'all looking at Luka as.
No, I'm not looking at Luka like that. I'm looking at the skills and what they bring to make the team better.
Then Cooper Flag has the skills. He had. The only thing
they could be the skills. I'm not saying he don't have the skills. I'm saying he doesn't have that ability to lead the team. They're going to have to build a significant amount of pieces around him for them to even go to the finals.
I don't think so. I mean,
okay.
The same thing they had to do with Luka, because obviously with Luka they had to build defense around him, because you wasn't getting defense from him. So everybody on Luka's team had to be effective defensively and have some type of three-point shooting.
They didn't have to be the man to get them together, because Luka could do that. Yes, it's defense, but I would say down the road, and we'll see as it get there. Flag will probably level out at about a 24, 22 point score. And
I think he's already there.
Will pretty much be in the middle as far as
he's already there. He's only 19 years old, even though
right. And Luka was what, 25?
But I think Cooper Flag in his first year has already started off hotter than Luka. So if people, cause right now you're looking at some Mavs fans looking at Luka, which is hard to do. You're looking at Luka's career in Dallas compared to only one season. That's not even a full season yet with Cooper Flag. I'm just saying, based on the skill set I'm seeing with Flag, I'm like, Flag, because I don't see nothing that's saying this dude's not going to improve, especially offensively. Defensively, I'm not worried about Flag at all. I mean, this dude is a total package defensively, and he competes. That's what they were saying about him when he was practicing against the USA basketball squad when he was like 17 years old. Steph Curry like that. Steph was coming out like, man, this dude is legit. Because when they playing, when they were playing the Olympics and they had a scrimmage, and he was on the other side playing against them, and they was like, who the hell is this little kid? Well, not a little kid, but he was balling against them, and it caught their eye. So he came out, and only thing he's shooting like mid 20% from 3-point shooting, but everything else off. That's why Jason Kidd, I don't know if y'all saw that post game, he was cussing out the reporter because they was questioning like why you want to have Cooper Flag as a point guard, because he has point guard skills, but they trying to you know how media trying to act like they know more than the coach, trying to get Flag off the ball to see if he could be better offensively. But he has that skill set. So, yeah, I mean, if they just Luka is gone, but Flag, he could potentially get them. I know one thing, they're not going to have no frustration with Flag like they did with Luka. Luka was just, Luka is great offensively. Okay, he took us to the finals, so he was happy. But there was legit frustration about Luka because of his constant.
Well, I'll be glad when the Mavericks move on from Luka mania because they seem heartbroken. Listen, I'm not taking away from your man. I know you like the Mavs, and he's a good player. But I think for him, he's going to need a lot more support. I think he will need a lot more support than Luka had at Dallas because he sort of ran it himself. And I think if they will win because they're young and they're gonna have opportunity when everybody comes back, when all the pieces fit. I think Dallas will be up there.
Well, now they officially started the process of building around Flag because the Davis trade basically ripped the Band-Aid back off, and now they know they lost that trade versus LA. And the Cooper Flag pick was just pure lightning in a bottle. They're happy about that, but the trade so now they officially handed over the keys to Flag because now they got draft picks, and I don't know when Kyrie coming back.
Yeah, but Shawnee, let's be honest though. I think the Wizards got a good deal when they got Anthony Davis. I think they got a good deal. He could
be on the court. That's the thing.
I think he'll be on the court. I mean, but I think they get that combination of players that I saw. The only thing they would need is a center because Anthony Davis clearly doesn't like to play center. But I think I think the Wizards will be okay with that little mix thing. We'll see.
So you think this team? I mean, what realistically could? Because it's almost like the Wizards now. They're almost like going for, I guess, players that have some star power. I don't know if there's a long-term plan for the Wizards to try to win anything, but if you think you can get a few more people through the turnstiles for Trae Young and Anthony Davis playing together on the same team, like I don't know what the strategy is, and like I said, it's just that Wizards have just in a franchise for so long that they just can't. They've had some star talent, which I already showed, have gone on to other teams and done better, but it's like you just don't know if that leadership or management over there, if they know what they're doing. I mean, Jordan owned that team for a number of years, and again, great, obviously the GOAT player, but horrible GM, horrible,
Now, Jordan owned the Hornets.
I'm sorry, you're right. He played for the Wizards, my bad. But I'm just saying, and the Hornets aren't no good shakes either. They haven't been there since Larry Johnson back in the day. But it just seems like I don't know where the Wizards are going, but is this more of a marketing move? Just to get some guys and get more fans coming to the building. Because, I mean, both of these players, Trae can be an exciting player at times. Davis, if he's healthy, is a very competent player, but that's the problem, his health. And so I don't know, what is the expectation? Are they going to try to make a playoff push, or could this really be like the last stop destination, certainly for Davis, and he just gets out the game? Because I don't know if his body can really handle it anymore. What do you think?
He's gonna stay in the league just as long as everybody else stay in the league because he's that talented. Because again, his position, he can get you 25 and 10, and if he's in the league, he can play big man. He can get you 16 and 9. That's still a win. But again, the Wizards, they don't know how to choose their players. They've had some good athletes, some good players, but they don't build the team. And to me, it's like that's where you want to go if you're in the last. I mean, not the last, but if you want to just play and make some easy money, go to the Wizards for the older players. But they have some young players, and I think just to me, these players have some. I'll say this with Davis and Trae Young. If they don't play with more urgency, then I could see them sort of being just journeymen for the rest of their careers. And the Wizards are young. I think, again, they still need a center because Anthony Davis is not going to play center.
They got the Alex Starr. I think he's there.
So if they got a center, I think they'll be okay because they still have Jordan Poole, don't they? Ain't he still there? So he's off the bench, but Yeah, they just I don't know, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta see. I mean, and just next trade, obviously, that came up. I'm asking myself the same question. Like, I don't know if this makes you better. So here, the other blockbuster trade here, you had again James Harden certainly traded to Cleveland for Darius Garland. I mean, again, Cleveland, young team, a lot of young talent. Yet it seems like they're going older to get a guy who's honestly, what is he delivered? I mean, all these teams, it's like there's this mindset that, oh, well, he's the missing link, you know what I mean, to a ring. But he's never won anything. When you had KD, him, and Westbrook in OKC, they got to one final. He hasn't been back to the final since. You got a young guy, a much younger player in Garland. He was an all-star last year. So I don't understand. So all these teams that he went to, I mean, he was supposed to be the missing link in Houston. Then he went to Brooklyn. He was supposed to pair up with KD and Westbrook. Then they were supposed to do some. And not Kyrie. So it was like that was supposed to be the next threesome that was supposed to deliver a championship. Then he was the missing link in Philly. Now it's with the Clippers. That as you said earlier, Shawnee, that they're doing, starting to put together a win streak, and now he's gone. In fact, even a man starter, he didn't know that that this was going down. So again, I don't understand some of these moves, or certainly why is it that people still think that James Harden is still a relevant player when his resume is such. I mean, yes, he has scoring ability and whatnot, but when has he ever delivered? Or why do you think that he would be a better piece for you, replacing a player that is younger? And it really started to come into his own game. So I don't understand necessarily this move, or why there's this love affair with him, just like I don't understand the love affair with Anthony Davis, when, again, you're willing to give up so many assets for a guy who's oft injured. And, so I don't get it, guys. What were your thoughts on this trade, Shawnee?
Well, just last note about the Davis thing. I think Washington is going to do what happened to Dallas. Because you picked up a talented Davis, so they thinking of possibilities. Oh, okay, Davis, because you're thinking about his talent. But when that reality sets, he was like, damn, man, this dude hurt again. And then you waiting, he comes back, damn, he hurt again. That's going to happen to Washington. So right now they looking at Davis at the talent, and like, okay, now they thinking of possibility between him and Young pairing up, and they got their rookie Alex Sarr, But once it starts playing, he was like, damn, this dude hurt again. Damn, he's hurt again. Damn, he's hurt again. And that's just going to be the reality. Now, with this James Harden trade, I admit I was thinking about the possibility. I was thinking about, like, what happened if he came back to Houston? Because it would have been, I thought, as far as basketball, I was like, okay, this may work. Because, okay, his first step with the Rockets, They spoiled the hell out of Harden. Harden was able to do anything he wanted to do, man.
Mm-hmm.
He was just able to go anywhere. Request like teams to stay over, like in a city longer so he can go out. He basically come to meetings late. They basically let him just run amok, and that's what, even though him and Russell Westbrook are friends, that's when Russ came. And then Russ was like, okay, man, he left, and they traded it. He was like, yeah, because he was, I think, felt some type of way about, man, y'all not really, it's not really serious right here because y'all let James just do too much. That was his first thing. But, yeah, he requested a trade because whatever, he, looked like he put on a fat suit. And all them players, like, he had, like, a good tandem in all of them. It was working with Dwight Howard until one time he got whatever mad and asked him to trade Howard. Chris Paul came. It was working with him, and he got mad and traded Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook. It was semi-working for them, and it just kept doing, it was a whole lot. Finally went to Brooklyn. Everywhere he kept requesting a trade, and I thought finally with the Clippers, because you remember with Philly, he went to China for something, and then next thing you know, he's talking about, I don't trust Daryl Morey and something like that. And everywhere he's going, he just keeps requesting trades. And then I thought with the Clippers, because of the trade deadline, I thought this was basically just Clippers just, okay, they doing it. But in reality, what turned out was Harden was trying to, want more money for his contract, and I guess when it looked like he wasn't going to get the extension or potential contract money he was looking for, the dollars, he literally just decided to take 2 games off. He just didn't want to play for a couple of games, and I think he was a no-show for practice, something like that. So, ultimately Clippers say, okay, so it's time to put him on the trade block. And the thing about this, he's basically did this in every single stop. These 4 teams that this is the 15. I don't think he did that in OKC. I think they just traded him.
Mm-hmm.
But these 4 teams, Harden literally just requested trade.
The guy's 36. I mean, it's like how much, and I know he's got again decent numbers. He's averaging 25 points a game, certainly at this point. So I think he can still play. But I'm just thinking, like, all these teams, just knowing that history, you think that this guy's going to deliver you over the top. I haven't seen it yet.
But that's why I was like, when I was thinking of the Rockets, I was like, okay, it can work. Because obviously, James Harden not the closer in the playoffs. But
no, not at all.
With the Rockets currently, you have KD to do that, and then you have Şengün. So we don't need you to be no closer. We got dudes, because we already know you're not going to show up in that part. But his skill set is valid, throughout the other games and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, just fit in. That culture that you had in Houston before, that's gone. You can forget that. They're not going to kiss your ring like they did back then. It's a whole different culture where email you talking everybody.
They kissing it. What are you talking about, Shawnee? They kissing it. That's why you can still move around and make $200 million. They kissing his ass.
Well, I don't know what contract he's gonna get now.
No, what I'm saying is he can dictate his trades. He has no trade clause. He dictated this trade, so he can do it. It is, and he can average 25 points. He's been doing. He always look out of shape. He look more out of shape than Luka does, but he's volume shooter. He puts up his points, and he could be an asset anywhere. The fact is, as it gets to the playoffs, he's still playing the same way, and he doesn't elevate his defense. And I didn't see why they got Donovan Mitchell, but it's the same as him and Kawhi. But Donovan ain't the defensive player Kawhi is. Garland was a great defensive player. Harden's older, but he can be that 18 consistent points, 20 points in the playoffs. So in that regard, I can see Cleveland making that trade because they need numbers. But he's old, and he's one of the few players. He's like Kirk Cousins of the NBA because he dictates where he goes. And
I know because Garland, he been having some.
He's been injured.
Lately. So that's like, we don't know how it's gonna be. With James Harden, one thing James Harden do every stop since Houston. That's why I don't know why he got into it with Dwight Howard. But every stop since Houston, he's made the big men at those respective teams better. He was the point guard for Philly when Embiid won MVP. The point guard, the center for the Clippers having some almost career numbers when Harden was. So Clint Capella with Houston had his best careers when Harden. So he elevates his centers. That's one thing he will do. So they thinking about, okay, Evan Mobley, Cleveland, they young stud big man. Harden can develop a tandem, with him, a connection with him, and most likely he will. That's one thing Harden does do. He knows how to get the best out of his big men. It's just, but they got Mitchell there as far as closer. So that's the thing now, I think, with teams now. They're like, we're not going to make you player one. We already know. But if you player...
Who, James Harden? James Harden going to be player 1 or 2. That's it.
No, because Evan Mobley is supposed to be the one, the next big thing.
But Evan Mobley, but Shawnee, you got to think about position. James Harden can play point guard. He is going to handle the ball a lot. Evan Mobley needs somebody to pass him the ball.
Yeah, he's going to be number 2. Donovan Mitchell number 1 by far. He's
going to be the man.
but that's, you know, if he would have came to Houston, I think he would have been number 3.
Man, get out of Houston, man. He ain't going back to Houston,
no,
man.
I'm just saying when the idea before he got traded, I was thinking about it, but then
been
I
10
was
years.
like,
Get out.
I was thinking about basketball reasons. I thought it would have worked, but then I was like, I started thinking
with the current team they have now, you think it wouldn't have worked?
Yes, because
no, it wouldn't
you
have
don't
worked.
have to.
It would not have worked because
KD would handle the closer. Sengun, that's why KD number 1, Sengun is number 2. Harden, you number 3. Don't try to come overstep these two. Now his ego, that's the thing.
That's why it don't work, because Harden is a volume shooter. He's not a passer and all that. He's a volume shooter.
But Udoka has
that's why
Udoka's team.
That's why he don't go there, because they understand Harden's game. He's going to go where he can be that shooter. And going to a team like Houston, it would work because they playing great team ball. They playing great team ball, and the teams like that, he wouldn't work.
That's when they had a point guard, but right now they not.
James Harden had a point guard, but
no, they don't have a point guard. Right? Well, he's more of a point guard than what they have. Right now, he's double digit in assists. But Houston don't have a point guard right now because Van Vliet is, and they struggling. That's why they deceived right now, because they can't. Houston have a hard time closing games. They get to the fourth quarter, then they just 5 KD, or Sengun. The other dudes act like they just can't find a offensive game. They're still a good team, but it's just frustrating at the end of games. So he was like, they had a lead, the other team will come back, but that's why they was looking for a point guard. Me personally, I hope they get one because they definitely need it.
Shout out to our guy Dante, certainly in the chat tonight. Couldn't be with us tonight, but he's a participant. Harden would have worked in Houston again. They have wing defenders, and we have certainly a $5 super chat from Anton. James Harden is NBA's version of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I can't even pronounce that last name, but I know you're talking about a mercenary who knows how to dribble. Yeah, for sure.
He is a mercenary.
Oh, 100%. Moving certainly to, I guess, the last, again, no trades as of yet, but I think that certainly, I think a lot of the talk that's been taking place is, where does Milwaukee go at this point with Giannis? Is there a trade that, that could be imminent? And if so, where do you think he can, go? Certainly in this upcoming, I think I got to find my, where is it? Let me stop sharing that.
Oh, yeah. Potential teams.
Yeah, I got to switch over. Just give me a second. Oh, there it is. So where is Giannis? I mean, the team is saying they're 19-29 at this point. I don't think they're necessarily going anywhere. Where do you guys think that Giannis, if a trade is going to be done, where do you think would be a likely landing spot for him? Because again, I don't think there's really much more he can do in Milwaukee, and I think certainly he is, certainly compared to those first two guys that we talked about, he is certainly a person who could make an impact for several teams. You got again, Dante's talking about possibly even Minnesota. So if they can land him, then that could certainly change their fortunes. You team him up with Ant-Man, then now you got something. So what do you guys think about, where do you think Giannis may land in the near future if he loses at all?
I think Minnesota's the strongest one. I think the Knicks, they don't want to give up because he's going to cost a fortune. And I don't think the Knicks want to give up that much because it will hurt them in the long run as far as their debt. Golden State, I mean, they already kind of gave Draymond a heads up, like, if we can get this trade, we may have to include you in there. I haven't really heard too much of an update on Miami yet. But what I heard earlier today, Minnesota is heating them talks up. So I think there's a strong chance of Minnesota. Only thing about Giannis, which I think that's maybe why, I think I heard it's the Bucks is kind of waiting on pulling the trigger with Giannis. Cause I think teams are already waiting. They just say, hey, man, just let us know when we can, work out this deal. But me personally, the only thing about Giannis, recently, Giannis has been having these calf injuries. Now, if y'all been watching the NBA recently, it's like a calf injuries now. It's like a prelude to something else, and that's
Yeah, certainly the
e-
Achilles. Yeah.
exactly. So that is what I'm nervous about with Giannis. Because right
Mm-hmm.
now, what every time I see in the NBA, it happens like somebody's calf, and then they'll come back because they think, oh, okay, my calf is healed, and then unfortunately, here come the Achilles, especially for an explosive player like Giannis.
Mm.
So, and these calf injuries has been like literally like pretty much back to back to back. It's been pretty much consistent recently. So that's the only thing. So you gonna the trade is worth it, but you're gonna give up a lot. And then unfortunately, if the dark side of this calf injury happens, you gave up a lot for a player who's about to miss a whole year.
Hmm.
I don't think
So
he's gonna
that
get traded.
Shout out to our
I
guy Poppy Blanco in the build tonight. So Poppy, would you want Giannis in a Knicks uniform? And what would you be willing to do? If so, what would you be willing to do to get him there? So again, we'd love to get your feedback on that. If he can the Knicks snag him, and what would you be willing to give up? We'll appreciate your commentary there. But go ahead, Coach.
don't think they're gonna wait. They're gonna have to wait till the summer. He's already shown he's older. He's not a young, vibrant player. And to me, the way he's doing it is sort of bad taste. Yeah, again. He travels. I mean, he just the way the NBA treat him. But yeah, he's walked half his points. Um, Again, I don't know
You knocking the
because
Euro step, sir? Is that-
not a Euro step. You still can only get two. He takes like 4 or 5. That's not a Euro step. I was doing that on the playground in '84 and '85. But it, he's a volume shooter, and that's the thing. So his contract is too big. They're gonna have to wait till the summer because I don't see nobody giving up what they have, especially now because they seeing how it's sort of panning out where they are in the standings. Teams are not willing to give up first, 2 and 3 first rounds. I can see a first round in a couple of seconds. And the teams that have those picks for them, they are young. And I don't see him going to a team that's, young and building, but a team that could use a spark, which, Golden State, I see, could be a possibility, but I know he'll get the motion because he's one of the top 5 players. But you
Bobby's
say
going
Carl,
all in. He's giving up Carl Anthony and his family.
yeah, 2 first round
He's
picks.
he's all in. He's all on board. So yes,
If they have that,
Dolan,
I
make
can
it
see
happen.
that. I can see that. Carl Anthony, yeah, but yeah, Giannis, yeah, he's overrated to me. So it is what it is.
I think
Ooh,
if,
you
if the
give him the
Knicks if the
old
Knicks
card.
trade for Giannis, it probably will be Carl Anthony. I think it'll be OG and Ananobi and
No, it
some
can't
picks.
be him. Can't be him.
Exactly. That's why because they gonna have to give up somebody for Giannis, and I really believe it could be those 2 players plus draft picks. So you see how damaging it will do to a team like the Knicks or the Bucks.
Yeah, move
I
them,
can't
bro.
I can't disagree with this one here. He plays when he wants to play. I got to agree with Bobby here.
Supposed to be in the club.
Because Carl
And
Anthony
he's
and
not always
Giannis,
in the greatest of shape. So
Carl Anthony and Giannis are not. That's not an equal trade. That's what Dallas was so pissed off about Luka. They didn't get an equal trade. Giannis and Carl Anthony plus the 2 picks was not equal. They're going to have to throw another player in there, and I believe it would be OG Anunoby, and that's too high of a cost. Or Mikal Bridges. So the price is going to be, especially for a player like Giannis, who's a 2-time MVP. You already know what he's going to bring.
what
on
about
both
three?
sides.
What about 3 first rounders?
Because basketball first rounders is, especially, I don't really know. It's not like it's going to be really worth anything. It's not like the NFL. You're not gonna have lottery picks because the Knicks is going to be better than the lottery team. So it's just like, no, we want players. We can give some picks, but we also want players. So it's going to gut the Knicks.
Right.
If they trade for him.
But I think that Milwaukee's tanking anyway. So again, I think they probably, if they got, additional picks, I think they're in rebuild mode. I think at this point. So who cares about the next couple of years? You look towards the future at this point. So I can certainly see them giving 3.
So let me ask you this question. Right? So they was already having an issue with players or teams sitting players because of whatever reason, right? So the fact that he's saying he wants a trade, he ain't even really playing. So how can they say if it's against the players, then it's bad. But if it's something that they sort of advocating as a team, then how can he be sitting out these games? He's not injured.
I think he is injured right now.
But he played. He played. Then they just said he wouldn't go play after that. He wasn't even injured. He had played complete. I think he had fouled out or something. But I don't know, man. Because if he gets traded, he's going to play immediately. He ain't going to be sitting out. He's going to play. So the deal, if they trade him, the next 2 games, he's going to be in a uniform playing, you know what I'm saying? So it's just odd how they do it.
So right now, Giannis, he last played was the 23rd, but now he's out for 4 to 6 weeks with that right calf strain. That's the ticking time bomb. So like we said earlier, that calf strain is like a prelude to the dark Achilles, which I hope don't happen to him. But it literally it's literally happened the past several times we've seen this injury. It's like part 1.
Yeah, but I guess if the Knicks are kind of all in. Again, they're second in the East right now, so they have a good team. You add him, and let's say if he does come back in March, right around the time when things start heating up, if they think he's going to be that missing piece, like see him, I could certainly see being a missing piece. I don't see Harden as a missing piece, and I don't see AD as a missing piece on this point. But again, him going to the Knicks, relatively well rested and healed from his calf injury, that might be something that they may want to go in on. I mean, I can certainly see them putting all their chips in because I think they're definitely more of a win now team versus trying to build for the future. I just think, I think that's where they're at right now. So I can certainly see that going down. I think the Bucks are making some of these injuries up. They just want to send them as much as possible to trade them. This happens all the time. So we got to see if those.
I think the Knicks are similar to my Rockets. They have good young talent, and they just don't. You don't want to let them go like that because, Rockets already gave up one talent with Jalen Green to get KD, which I understand why. But it's hard to let go of good talent that's showing like they've been having success. Then you gonna gut it for just one player for the most part?
Yeah. Well, you're saying gutted. I mean, certainly.
The Knicks will gut. They're gonna gut.
Yeah, man. They have young. They're not giving. You're not asking for their younger talent. You're asking for Cat, and like I said, for some future picks. But if you're gonna keep those other guys,
that's not enough.
Again, I think three may get it done. But we'll
3 first rounders. You say 3 first rounders?
3 first rounders plus Cat.
Yeah, 3 first rounders will get it.
I think that'll get it done. And definitely Celtics. You better shut your mouth. You better shut your mouth, Bobby.
Backseat right now.
You better shut your mouth right now, sir.
I think they're number 2 or 3 seed in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's just he's he's got to clown me every time he comes up here about my Celtics. But moving on, certainly just some additional NBA before we close out. Again, we haven't talked about NBA, so we're taking our time in this block before we get into the NFL. But obviously, you have the new All-Star format. So, again, they are going with kind of USA versus the world, but they're doing it in a different format. So you have the USA Stars, USA Starps, and then the World Team. And apparently each team's going to play each other in sort of an elimination format. And then the championship, the top 2 will meet in the 4 games. So it's 4 games, 12 minutes each. So, again, trying to do something more exciting with the game. So it's going to be a total of still 48 minutes. But I'm thinking the pace of these games is going to be extremely fast. So I can't, So your thoughts on, I guess, this new format? I kind of find it, interesting. almost like kind of playing. This kind of reminds me of playing ball at the park. You're waiting to get your team in. If you lose, then you're off the court or whatever. But what are your thoughts on this new format for the All-Star game? But off the top, I kind of like it. And we'll to see what happens. But it's basically 2 U.S. teams playing against one foreign team. Coach, your thoughts on this?
Looking at the names, I could see them going to this format, but I really don't like it. I don't really like it because who's to say going forward if there will always be enough foreign players? In a sense, I don't know. You have this time period now, but it'll be interesting to see how the NBA sort of moves forward with the All-Star format. I think it'll probably change every so few years. But I think you will see a different level of play. There's a sense of pride at stake this year when, NBA born Americans, they like to prove something, but the world players, they have a nice, roster over there and they can be trouble. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. So yeah, and the fact that, the old man is a reserve this year. Yeah, man, it's. I'll just say this real quick about what was that player? Let me see. The All-Star game is getting younger. The players are coming in younger, more ready to play, and yeah, man, it's going. I'm glad that they did what they did for Kawhi, getting him on there, because Kawhi has been playing a hell of a game this year. But again, man, it's going to be interesting, man. I don't see no blowout. I think it's going to be.
Well, again, it's 12-minute games, so this is like, again, you playing at the park, and so I definitely expect you're not going to just see lollygagging.
No, they're going to play 4 games, right? So it's going to be a final game.
Right. The 4th game is the final game, but the round robins up to that point, they're going to be 12-minute games. Yeah, so it's going to be a very rapid pace, winner moves on type of thing. Now, you could have it where certainly, the world team could get eliminated, and it's the USA Stars versus the Stripes. You don't know. It depends on how the outcomes of these games go. But certainly, I'm looking forward to seeing. I'll put it this way: I will, for the first time in a long time, I will actually look forward to the All-Star game to see how they're gonna put this together. So,
Brother Ben, now let me ask you a question, Shawnee. Did they find a replacement for Giannis? Because if they ain't find no replacement, that'll prove that his injury ain't real. Because he shouldn't be playing if his calf is.
Well, if he's a trade possibility, they'd find any way to keep him out anyway, not for an All-Star game.
But why would he even play in the All-Star game? That's where you can get in.
He was named. You could be elected or selected.
Yeah, that's what I said. Did they find a replacement for him?
That I don't know.
Trae Young. Trae
Young, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Gotcha.
To me, it's different. I don't mind it being different, but the thing is, these are all NBA players, and it's really nothing. Okay, the world team is going to have on a different jersey, but they all NBA players. Like these, meaning that they still are not really. I think they're still going to view this as an exhibition. And when the NBA players look at the All-Star exhibition, they just going to be letting each other do whatever. Mm-hmm. They may try to give some more type of effort, but it's not going to be like a regular game. I'm not really expecting high competitive basketball because it's still that culture, that NBA mentality in the All-Star game is there. They don't take it serious. Mm-hmm. So they just let each other shoot the ball. The thing about if it was a true USA versus world, I was thinking getting like other players outside the NBA because then they would have something to prove versus NBA players, just basically NBA versus the world. Then you have more to prove. But this, everybody chosen still NBA. So you got a world jersey on, but you still gonna you in the NBA culture. Y'all don't take this game serious.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole thing. That's why they have to do stuff like this, so they can try to get the players to take it more serious. Because we just sit there and watch them. Literally, I think one All-Star game they almost stretched to almost 200 points. I'm like, well, what is this? But that's what they're gonna do. I think you may see a smidge more competitive than this compared to a regular All-Star game, but I'm not expecting the only time that we saw anything was when Kobe passed and that first All-Star game after, because they were doing it in honor of Kobe.
Right.
That was it. And then the next year it went back to normal. They just sitting there hey, shoot a three, a wide open lane to the basket for a dunk. I can see not as big, but I can see somewhat the same in this current format, simply because all the players involved are current NBA players, and it's just a culture currently in the NBA. If they would have had world players who are not in the NBA and came with something to prove, then you would have seen a more competitive basketball. But now it's just, you moving, you just basically thinking, we're just gonna put a different jersey on you, and hopefully the competitive nature of the game, also game, is gonna increase. Mm-hmm. No, you using the same players. They just, hey, we got on a different jersey. Mm-hmm. Okay, we got to get used to these new rules, so we got to play 4 games or whatever the tournament is, But they all gonna be. So it's just a culture right now, man. They don't take this game serious. Mm-hmm. So they can sit there and try to, move the rules around and try to do. I mean, the commissioner's trying to do. I give props to him. He's trying, because if they just always, respected the game for the most part, he wouldn't be doing this. There wouldn't be an NBA Cup in a regular season. But since he's trying to do something to bring this back up to the players, and then with the All-Star game, basically the All-Star. You remember back when All-Star weekend in the past, it was huge. Saturday, that 3-point shooting contest with the prelude to the slam dunk contest, the main event. Mm-hmm. Now, I think that really the best event now is 3-point shooting contest, because slam dunk, they need about 5 dunks apiece to make a dunk, so they already kind of killed the luster.
Yeah.
And then Sunday come, and you watching these dudes just playing zero defense and scoring over 150 points each. I'm like, so they just kind of just, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a little bit more competitive, but I don't think it's going to be, the true NBA world that we believe that it should be. That we, what we hope it would be, because it's all still NBA players.
Gotcha.
And that's just what they do right now.
Gotcha. Let's move on to the NBA. To the NFL. Again, we're going to hold our Super Bowl picks certainly towards the end of the show, but certainly first order of business. So to get an NFLPA, obviously we already know the owners are pushing for 18 games. Players don't have any room for it, no appetite for it. Do you see some sort of holdout or potential strike coming up soon, or will the owners get their way in this regard? Just real quick, Coach, and then Shawnee, your thoughts on the prospects for an 18-game season, certainly if not next year, then the year after.
Just based off what I've been reading about it, I don't think it'll be something that happens before the next collective bargaining. Maybe 2030 or so, maybe, but right now, it wouldn't make for good football to me. It really wouldn't. It'd be like they damn near playing football year round for us, because you're going to have to start training a little earlier, and that can tie into family, because school's out. It's going to be a lot of other variables, but to me, that don't really make sense. 17 games is enough. 3, maybe break it down to 2 preseason games. But yeah, I guess with the NFL, they tend to be getting greedier and greedier and asking for more. But it's also funny they're still creating lower tier leagues around the country. 4 or 5 league teams at lower tiers. So it's just, to me, it just doesn't make sense. It just, players are already tapped out. You see with injuries players getting, but I guess they're looking at the technology and being able to get you back out there faster. So we'll just get more out of you. But to me, it just doesn't make for good football because you still won't see the stars, quarterbacks, and certain players until the season starts. So just keep it. I think they should keep it like that until at least next collective bargaining. Then just figure it out. But I hope they don't do 18 game shit.
Gotcha. Shawnee?
I see Dante mentioned about the owners. Yeah, the 18 games is just all owners, strictly money. We already seeing what 17 games is doing to teams. Man, they literally come into the playoffs with string beans. Man, they injuries are playing so much a part in football now more than ever because you're just exposing the players to more contact before the playoffs get here. So, just injury bug hitting everybody. And it's just the NFL got this insatiable appetite for money, man. I'm looking at the schedule next year alone. They already have 9 international games. 3 in London. They're going back to Madrid, Spain. They got 1 in Australia, 1 in Mexico City, Germany, France, and Brazil. So it's just money, 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 and they just going to keep dangling that money, potential money, in front of the players' faces. Mm-hmm. Hey, you can get this much money if you add an 18th game. But players are saying it now because I think the players, with their heads, they looking like, man, you exposing us too much. This is hurtful to us. Their hearts they're looking at, but they gonna be dangling that money. This is the money you can get now because the cap already went up. But that's for the teams. But when they see that, I think ultimately, that 18 game, I don't want it, but I think ultimately it will happen because generally the owners, they tend, and when it comes to like making more money, and then they tend to get their way.
Yeah. No, Anton has a decent proposal here. Shout out to him for another $5 super chat. The only way they can work with 18 games is they have 2 bye weeks and possibly eliminate the Thursday games.
That's too much money. They got too much money given to Amazon for that. Amazon ain't gonna let that happen. Maybe they get the bye weeks. Amazon be like, you got to come with something else that we're not giving up. We paid too much money for your games.
Yeah. Certainly. Let's move into, I guess, our main block for the night. Again, shout out to our guy Dante, 16 with the perfect amount of games. I don't mind 17, to be honest with you, but I think that player safety has to be something you got to look at.
Well, it goes back 17 games, Mr. Bennett. It goes back when you bring up the OJ argument. You keep adding.
Oh well, as far as I'm talking about as far as from the health standpoint of players. Look, if you want to go back to 8 games or 10 games, I mean, look, I'm not trying to go back to the 1920s either. I'm just saying, in the modern era of football, I think OJ, is certainly the best because, again, I was watching the game from the other night where the Jets played the Bills, 1975. He still got, I think he had like 34 carries for like a $140 or something like that. And the thing is, you knew he was the only option on that team, right? And you still couldn't stop him. So I think, certainly just given the limitations of that team and for him to still be able to put those numbers up over 14 games. And I'm not even saying now, my thing is this. If you can get to 2K or beat his record in 14 games but still have a 17-game season, I'll give you that then. But I'm just saying, to me, that's the benchmark. To me, that's when it's legit, or I would recognize you as legit if you can get 2K in 14, and then if you want to get to 2,200, 2,300, that's perfectly fine. I got no issue with that. But, the 2105 by Eric Dickerson, that's 2 more games. And I think...
they they're going to still honor the record if it's broken. So if they
which
get
I don't,
games,
which I don't agree with. I think
There's
just,
not gonna
I
be
think
no
they need to have an
asterisk,
I think they need to have an asterisk on it. Put an asterisk on it.
That's
But
what I'm saying. You go through these games, them records they're gonna be at risk.
yeah, I think there's a lot of same with baseball. 154 versus 161. When a lot of these records are being broken by one run, I think that stuff matters. But in any event, let's move on to our main block of the night. So again, we talked about last week the NFL voting committee certainly snubbed certainly Bill Belichick. We all know his resume, which is exemplar. As far as his record, but we also know about the scandals, and we also know how disliked he was. And so those voters, at least 10 of those voters, certainly did not give him, didn't want to honor him with a first ballot Hall of Fame. I think he'll certainly get in, but I think this is the writers and those people biting back and saying, no, you're not in. And so we talked about that last week. And the other domino to fall is by Robert Kraft. Certainly compared to Jerry Jones. Now, again, you may be able to talk on this, Shawnee. Jerry Jones, again, was arguably most hated owner in sports, and certainly in the NFL because of the deals, the private deals that he made with companies outside the NFL with Pepsi and all those other entities. So I don't know if folks were necessarily feeling him a whole lot, and I don't know if he got it to see with the coaches. I mean, with the owners, I don't know. There's no ballot initiative, right? I mean, like, when are you eligible? These guys still own the team, so I don't know how the coaches, the owners' ballot works. But certainly, these same people came back and said, no, you're not getting in on the first ballot, or certainly just denied on the ballot altogether. So I think, again, Kraft is somebody who I think he'll get in eventually. But I think this is just for all those scandals for that the Patriots have had over the years. These guys are speaking up, and so the question would be if Kraft didn't get in, if Belichick didn't get on first ballot, if they're saying Kraft, you're not in there at all, even though his team looks like they're in potential to win another Super Bowl, and that the question is, what about when Brady comes up for first ballot? I think it's next year. Brady's eligible. See, the next year, the year after.
28, I think.
28. Okay, so in 28, when he comes up for it, will they try this again to send a message? I mean, it was Brady with Deflategate.
Yeah.
Will they do the same thing to him and saying no? So is this basically these Hall of Fame electors are saying basically bump the Patriots? And they just want to stick it to them as much as possible. And so you start with the coach, the owner, and their certainly their most important player. Is this a trend that we're going to see keep happening here? Coach, I'll start with you. Get your feedback certainly on the Bob Kraft not being selected for the Hall of Fame. And again, with ownership, I don't know what goes into that process, but they basically gave him a hard no. And do you think this can have implications for Brady in a couple of years when he comes up on with everybody, in their mind would think, yes, he is clearly first ballot. I won't even argue with that. How critical I am about first ballot guys. But what are your thoughts on this how this committee is treating the Patriots right now?
Thought about this whole situation is I think they're going to bring them all in together. Everybody's coming in together.
So you think they're going to wait until 28 and bring all three in together?
I won't be surprised, man, if they do, because they're so interconnected. All, even outside of New England, you got my old man over, a two-time Tom Brady Super Bowl winner. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, but, it's just unfortunate that the incidents that happen under this organization, it just all ties together, and it becomes more relevant when it's time for situations like this. Because clearly, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer based off what he's done. But then,
right, who are you referring to?
The coach. I mean, the owner. The owner here. Clearly, just based off his accomplishments as an owner of that team, but the incidents that he's tied to, it's almost similar to me to what Pete Rose did to baseball. What they did in New England is similar to Pete Rose, what did in baseball. They were cheating. And when you're cheating, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if they all go in together. It'll probably be 4 of those guys, everybody tied to New England. And might be old Manning over because it's going to be interesting. It's only 2 years down the road, so.
Shawnee, your thoughts on it?
Well,
before you go, again, another $5 super chat, Anton. I know got the deepest pockets on YouTube, but we appreciate you. $5 super chat. It all goes back to what Mark Hughes said about some time back. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. So I guess that goes back to the NFL owners and their desire to expand the league. But again, appreciate the super chat again. But again, your thoughts on the snubbing, and do you think that they would be bold enough to, if not take Brady off the first ballot, but maybe make it closer than it is? Like how it is when they said, who was the baseball player? I think it was Ichiro. I think somebody didn't vote for him to get in, even though he's like unanimous. That somebody just want to make a statement to say, out of protest for Brady and the Patriots, he may not get in with what should be like a unanimous vote. Do you think they may go that route?
I won't put it by them because we already seen that NFL voters they put personal feelings involved. We see them do that with Terrell Owens, and Terrell Owens had no scandal by him. They just he was I guess not friendly to the media, so they took it personal on him and say, well, we control your access to the hall, so we're gonna make you wait a year. So we've seen it before, and then we've seen right now 2 of the 3 of the trifecta first ballot has been denied, and Brady was right there with them. I mean, Brady was responsible for the Deflategate. It wasn't Belichick, it was Brady. So they gonna put him right in there. So, and the thing about it, because Jerry Jones was a first ballot Hall of Fame with his 3 titles, but Jerry did.
But see, I don't even know how that works, because typically for a player, it's 6 years after you retire. So I'm saying, to say he's first ballot, I don't even know if that applies to these guys. You're either in or you're out.
They have their first ballot, but I heard it.
But what's it based on? I mean, when do you become eligible on a ballot if you're an owner?
I heard it because
5 years? Is it? I don't know. I mean,
I gotta look it up again because I know they consider like the older players who are like on teetering to get in, like the NFL legends or whatnot. That's what one voter who came out, he put his name. That's what he said. It was like 3, like that's when Roger Craig and who's the former Steeler who got
L.C. Greenwood.
Yes. It was like their last chance of getting in. So what he was thinking, well, some people think, okay, I'm going to vote for these 3, and I'm assuming somebody else going to vote Belichick. But I want to vote these 3 in so they can get in. I don't think he said with him it wasn't about any of the scandals. He was just trying to get those 3 in. But it's a criteria for owners. I forgot what it is. But with Kraft, because I was saying, Jerry got in because of his 3 titles and his contributions to the NFL, which they are still living off on right now. That's why Benny said Jerry Jones might be the greatest owner, forget the GM tag, the greatest owner in NFL sports, because NFL is literally standing on the shoulders of what Jerry did. Kraft, on the other hand, is getting in because of his 6 titles. And I'm sure I don't know all he did with the NFL because he's been an owner for a long time. I'm sure there's stuff he did great for the NFL himself. So both of them definitely belong to be first ballot Hall of Famers. They 2 of the greatest owners, one as far as championships. I think Kraft has the most championships out of any owner in history. So that by far will make him first ballot. Jerry, he has championships, but then he has the NFL business that they are still standing on his shoulders about. Now, Belichick is Belichick. That's self-explanatory. Dude has 8 titles from a head coach and a coordinator. We automatically, as soon as he was, it never even fathomed to football fans that this dude was not going to be a first ballot. He's considered many by the greatest coach of all time because of his championships.
Mm-hmm.
With anything with coaches, they are strictly judged off of wins and losses and championships. That's it. They don't really judge them a lot of time by X's and O's. What's your wins? What's your losses? How much rings you have? Simple. And nobody has more than Belichick. And I mean, he got to, he had to put them on both of his hands so you can see how much total rings he has. And when they say no, you can't trade. We're talking about the first ballot snubs, Hall of Fame snubs of Belichick and Kraft. But yeah, when they say that, you snub the owner who has 3 rings and responsible for probably the biggest dynasty in NFL history. You snub him. You snub the head coach who has the most rings and who was the head coach during this biggest dynasty in NFL history. You're just going to finish off the trifecta because the quarterback of that dynasty, the biggest dynasty, who has the most rings for any NFL player in history, and he has the most rings than anybody. No, he has 7. Belichick has 8. But they just gonna lump him in there. I was mentioning this last week when I brought it up. I was like, I'd be surprised if they just go ahead and bundle. But that's the only way at the time last week. It was just Belichick. We didn't know about Kraft. And then when we saw it was the same thing happen to Kraft, we were like, oh, okay. Y'all taking this personal. Y'all trying to send a message. Because right now that's 2 of the 3. And you got one more who was definitely a part of it. He was responsible for one of them. And we have a strong, feeling that y'all may do the same to Brady. And I think, man, you thought the backlash was loud when Belichick got snubbed. Kraft was loud, but not as loud as Belichick. Just imagine how it would be if they do that to Brady. Because people, you don't even fathom Brady not being the first ballot. I mean, it's just written in stone. By us, we already had it written in stone that he's the first ballot Hall of Fame. And then all of a sudden, the dude said no. They somehow got to erase it off. And oh hell, you're gonna be. I don't know how the NFL, the Hall of Fame, can come back for it because everybody's like, man, we don't like. It's not really valid enough. But I'm not surprised because we've seen it before with Terrell Owens. They will put their personal feelings of a player, in front of the vote. So, hey.
Got you. Speaking of Hall of Fame, this is the finalist list for the modern day players. So these are guys who are on the short list to get in. Just wanted to kind of get your guys' thoughts on who do you think. I think they take 5 up to 5 of the modern era, and then again they got those legendary players that may get in. I think Roger Craig, I think is certainly getting in, and possibly, like I said, L.C. Greenwood from the Steelers certainly to get in. But just wanted to get your thoughts out of this finalist.
26 draft Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of your finalists, who do you think gets in this go round out of this list? Me personally, I think Frank Gore, Larry Fitzgerald. Let's see here, Jason Witten, Vinatieri. Yeah, I think those guys are kind of locks. I'm still not sold on Manning getting in, even though he has the 2 Super Bowls. I'm saying, Drew Brees, of course. Yeah, so that'd be my 5 off this list. So I would say a shoe-ins, certainly to get in. Jason Witten, even though he didn't have never got to a Super Bowl or whatever, but again, the guy's got crazy numbers, 11-time Pro Bowler. So I think he certainly makes the he makes the cut. But those receivers from Indianapolis, Wayne and Holt, I don't think those guys surely get in there. But what are your thoughts on who do you think makes the cut this time, whether it be first ballot or not? But just off this list, I can't see Darren Woodson. I haven't seen enough for him to get in. I know he's a Dallas guy, but your thoughts on this? What's that?
We'll find this out.
We find out tomorrow. So this is kind of like this. So this will be your ability to pick in terms of who gets in. So we'll play this segment back next week, and we'll see if you're right. So I gave you mine. So Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Frank Gore, Adam Vinatieri, Jason Witten. Those are my five. Who get in? Who are yours?
Oh, you pick Adam Terry. Drew Brees, Fitzgerald. I'm surprised you picked Gore. Brees, Fitzgerald.
It's hard to turn down 16,000 yards, man. I know he's a compiler, but to be a running back compiler, again, I'm not saying he's great, but how many times are you going to keep turning down 16K? That's hard to do.
He still has multiple years left of eligibility, right?
San Francisco 2017 he retired, so it's 8 years. So this is his third year of eligibility then.
I think he's gonna be pushed back some more.
Okay.
Brees, Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly. I think Eli. I think he already. He missed the cut of being a potential first ballot, so he already. Mm-hmm. So he's not going to be on there. Vinatieri, as clutch as a kicker as he is, I don't know. I don't think he's going to put him in there yet. Jason Witten, me as a Cowboy fan, I really hope Darren Woodson gets in. I really hope he gets in. As a matter of fact, I think this is his last year of eligibility. But those four, that's what I can say. Brees, Fitzgerald, Kuechly, and Witten. But my fifth, and I really hope, just because I think he's just a good dude, and he was a good player, Darren Woodson,
Correction. Shout out to Trey for the correction. Yeah, actually 20. I don't know why I don't list all the the years, but he was 2020. You're right. Yeah. Thanks for the correction. Appreciate it, Trey.
He definitely ain't gonna be first ballot. So I think 4. Oh, no. Willie Anderson. I think he's going to be in there. So Willie Anderson, Brees, Kuechly, Witten, and those are 5 that I really have a strong feeling will get chosen. Reggie Wayne.
I'm not feeling. They got one guy in, right, from those Manning receivers. Who was the guy who went in a few years ago? His son's in the NFL now.
Who won the? Harrison.
Harrison. Yeah,
he's in.
I think one is enough. I don't think you're gonna put all 3 of those receivers in.
I think they ultimately will, though. But yeah, I really do hope Woodson does. I think this is his last year.
It ain't gonna be Woodson.
Go ahead, Coach. What do you pick your 5? So 5 off the modern list. Pick your 5.
The one that y'all didn't mention is Terrell Suggs. I think he'll be in there. Brees, of course, Fitzgerald. What's that? Luke Kuechly, and
he's close. Yeah, If I was gonna take one out, if I was going to take one out, I'll take Gore out because I agree with you, Shawnee. It's hard. I thought it was his third year, but it's actually his first year. I'll take him out and I'll put Kuechly in because if it wasn't for that injury, he was I think it was like a 5-time All-Pro. So
Wait, you talking about Luke Kuechly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah. So I mean, he was like best at his position for a number of years. So yeah, I'll take Gore out and I'll put Kuechly in. So
honestly, Kuechly, I think, is one of the most recognizable players associated with the Panthers since the late Sam Mills.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
The only person I could think. That's the only reason why he might get in for that reason.
And Sam Mills, I mean, he came in later because he had all those years with the Saints.
True.
So he came in towards the end of his career.
But also, remember, he was part of the Panthers when they came into the league. He was picked by them, I think, in the expansion draft.
That's why I said Willie Anderson.
And then also, he stayed on as a coach, and people forget he was fighting cancer at the same time he was working on the coaching staff. And because of what he came up with the mantra of keep pounding. And if you ever go outside Bank of America Stadium in downtown Charlotte, the only statue you see outside the stadium is that of Sam Mills. And he's a Jersey guy too, so you got
Jersey. And it's fall. It's like 5'9". I mean,
5'9", played at Montclair State Division III program, and he was one of the final links to the old USFL.
Gotcha. Yep, for sure.
So I think and because what Mills accomplished, and that's why he's always going to be forever recognized for what he did in Carolina. I think Kuechly might get in. He might get in just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So
shout out to Trey, being part of the conversation. Welcome aboard, sir.
What's good, Air Force?
What's good? What's good, fellas? What's going on?
Doing good, sir. Doing good. So let's get.
Did Coach ever give us 5?
I don't think he did.
All right, so Coach, get your 5. I thought you said Breeze. I thought you said Kuechly. Go ahead, finish your 5.
I said Terrell Suggs would be a different one. Jason Witten, Kuechly, Breeze, and Fitzgerald.
Gotcha. Anton, your top 5?
My top 5: Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Torrey Holt, because I think he's a bit underrated when you look at that receiving core that the Rams had all that time in St. Louis.
Greatest show on turf.
It's probably going to be, they might put Vinatieri in because of what he's accomplished as a kicker. He might. And wow. I'm debating whether you should put in either Willie Anderson or Marshall Yanda, because O-linemen are very important and they don't get the record. A lot of them don't get that recognition they truly deserve. So either Anderson or Yanda. You got to put a lineman in there. And nothing against Jason Witten. Nothing against him because he was also
11 times. How many 11-time anythings do you have in any sport?
Exactly.
So that's crazy.
And then when you look at a lot of the other tight ends that done a lot and accomplished that are in, Tony Gonzalez, who else? Kellen Winslow. It's hard.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know Torrey Holt was entering his 12th year of eligibility.
See, that's my thing. And my thing is also, if I got to keep thinking about you after a while, I don't know, man. Like I said, Hall of Fame, I should say yes. Like, as soon as you mention the name, that's a Hall of Famer. If I got to think about you 12 times, I don't know. Now Trey's coming in to the earlier point. Trey's saying that Gore is first ballot Hall of Fame. So go ahead, Trey. So I know you had your list. If you want to reiterate your list again and back it up. So Frank Gore for first ballot. Go ahead.
My list is Fitzgerald, Kuechly, Reggie Wayne, Marshall Yanda, and the reason why I'm going with Frank Gore is, like you said earlier, you can't ignore 16K yards. I don't care how many teams they came on. It doesn't matter. You can't ignore.
This isn't baseball where you just have seasons. You just come off pinch hit and get a couple hits in here and there, man.
Yeah.
So
now here's what I will say though. A lot of these guys are either first ballot or this is their second year of eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of that might hinder them, considering that there will be some time for some of them. So guys like Drew Brees, I think this is his first year.
I think this is
Gore, this is his first year, right? Like, are you looking at some of these lists? You're seeing that they retired in 2020, 5 years, 2025. We're going into 2026. A lot of them are looking at the first year. I don't think Vinatieri gets in primarily because he's a Patriot, and they seem to have one. They seem to have a hard on for the Patriots, right?
Honestly, Trey, if you think about it, I mean, okay, it's not just about the Deflategate and everything else. They're arrogant. And I think that's what it is. People feel like they give off this sense of arrogance.
Yeah, but
and if you
They have every right to be arrogant. They won.
yeah, that's true. They won. I'm a Jets fan, so believe me, I've dealt with that nonsense. But I think it's just the fact that it's the Patriots. Plain and simple. They have this sense of arrogance and everything that people don't like. So that's
Mr.
what it
Bennett,
is.
Jason Witten, is it 11-time Pro Bowl or is it 11-time All Pro?
11-time Pro Bowler. I think he's a 2-time All-Pro. But again, how many guys get 11 Pro Bowls or anything? 11 All-Star appearances. 11. I mean, that's
No. He gonna be on this list. You don't want to know why?
What's that?
Because he got to go in that hall with Shannon Sharp and Kellen Winslow and Tony Gonzalez and what's my man that was in San Diego? I can't think of his name right now.
Antonio Gates.
Antonio Gates. Like Jason Witten ain't that. Come on, he ain't that caliber. Come on, y'all.
Honestly, you got to give Antonio Gates. You got to give him because he never played football. He was a basketball player at Kent State.
That's not my point. My point is that the echelon of tight ends is extremely high when we talk about Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just don't think this is Witten's year. I think he gets in ultimately. I just don't think this is his year. But same thing with Torrey Holt. When I think of Torrey Holt, I think of 2, maybe 3 top tier years. I don't think of a body of work because that's ultimately what the Hall of Fame is. The Hall of Fame is about a body of work. I don't see a body of work from Torrey Holt, which is probably why he's been sitting there for over a decade now, right? It's been a long time.
Well, 12 years.
Yeah, 12 years. So that's why I think Breeze probably does get in, even though I didn't pick Breeze. But I think Breeze probably, quarterbacks is always going to get a.
Yeah, because like you said, you can't see you can't get 16. He's got what 85,000, over 80,000. Right. That's
and on top of that, Mr. Bennett, it looks good for the class because they're more recognizable. Mm-hmm. Right, the quarterback is always the more recognizable name. So if Drew Brees is leading the class, it's a more recognizable name. Like when Tom Brady's time come up, watch the names they put in Tom Brady. They may get all the guys that they won't normally get just because Tom Brady can hold that class on his own.
I see the key thing that will make Torrey Holt a Hall of Famer. He's a all-decade team. To me, if you made all-decade team, that's automatic Hall of Fame. That means you were one of the best at your position.
Yeah, but how many years he's been eligible?
He's been 12, but he's gonna get in there.
So you're all-decade, and you still.
Hey,
and you still 12 years, they still thinking about you. That's sad, man.
We saw what's his name?
Drew Pearson.
Exactly. He was the only in the 70s, the only all-decade player from the 70s who didn't make the Hall of Fame until recently. Mm-hmm. So again, we seen the NFL do this before. So yeah.
Honestly, I thought Pearson was already in the Hall of Fame until I found out. And I was like,
because the Steelers kept beating them Dallas Cowboy teams in the 70s, man. So Swan and Stallworth, so they had to get in first. So you know how that worked. But I think
one of the biggest issues, Mr. Bennett, is that a lot of these guys, this is first time around.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be the issue for a bunch of these guys is that this is just their first time around. And with everything that's going on, I think a lot of these guys are going to get passed over just because it's their first year eligibility, except for Fitzgerald. If I had to take a lock and I said for sure tomorrow when I look it up on YouTube, I'm pretty sure Fitzgerald going in.
Mm-hmm. But is there anybody on this panel besides Shawnee and probably Dante who thinks Darren Woodson's a Hall of Famer?
That's tough.
That's some homie. I can get with you with Jason Witten. I'll give you that one. I'll even give you Drew Pearson should have been in years ago. I'm all kidding aside. Drew Pearson, certainly from those 70s teams, he should have been in a long time ago. But Darren Woodson, again, a better than average, a good player. He was a 5-time Pro Bowler. I don't know if he ever made All Pro.
No, he was a 5-time Pro Bowler and a 3-time first team All Pro.
First team All Pro. All right, he may have to get in there one day. Okay.
Hey, Shawnee, was those 3 years the years they went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, 94 through 96, yeah. I think that, yeah.
And see that's what's a little bit different for me. If it was the years that the team was already having success, see, when I think Hall of Fame, I think, what about the down years? Were you still a Hall of Fame caliber player, even
right.
though the years when the team wasn't as great? Were you still top tier those years? then yeah, that's Hall of Fame. I think that's some of the has to be a little bit of the separator. Or were you just really good the years y'all had really?
I mean, you got to make a case for a guy like go back to the old NFL, Dick Butkus.
True.
Those Chicago teams didn't win anything. I mean, they didn't go to the playoffs, but nobody doubted that Dick Butkus was the best linebacker by far in the league and dominated for years. He was the only really attraction they had. So I agree with you, Trey, as far as,
Another player for that team also, Gale Sayers. And his career was cut short due to injuries.
Right. But they never won anything. But I want to get in real quick. I want to give segments. So again, we invited Anton onto the show since we never talk about hockey, and obviously we got the Olympics coming up. And so if you want to give a preview highlight, we're going to give you the floor to give your segment on what should we expect. Because again, I do get into Olympic hockey. I got to admit, when hockey's on, I really get into it. So what to watch for? What do you think of Team USA's chances this year? Who do you think is the stronger teams that are going to come out of it this time? So I'll give you the floor, 5-10 minutes, whatever you want to take, and then we'll get our Super Bowl picks in, and then we'll ask the most important question of the night at the very end. So Trey, certainly stick around for that. I definitely got to get your opinions on that. So again, Anton, the floor is yours to talk about hockey, the Olympic hockey, and just preview the Olympics 2026.
All right, guys. Basically, this Friday, the Olympics are going to be starting up. Also, the NHL is going on the Olympic break, so a lot of players are either going to be home resting and relaxing, or they're going to be over in Italy representing their respective countries. It's going to be 12 teams. Carter. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on.
Okay, we'll get back to the action so far. So we'll go. Actually, I'm going to ask this question. All right, so maybe you good?
Sorry
You good,
that.
Anton?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry about that.
Finish your
fellas.
point. No problem. Hey, we've been
All
there.
right.
Go ahead.
All right, you got 3 groups with 4 teams each. Right now, one of the teams that's definitely being looked at as one of the strong teams to take it is the United States. If you look at their roster, they practically have the same team from last year's Four Nations face-off. Even though they came up short against Canada in the championship game, this is by far one of the most talented teams they got. When you look at their lineup and everything, they only replaced 2 players. 2 players that are not on this team are Chris Kreider of the Anaheim Ducks and Adam Fox of the New York Rangers. Fox really wasn't putting up any numbers whatsoever, so that's why he got replaced. Plus, also, he blew assignment, which led to Connor McDavid scoring the game winner in overtime. So I think that's why he's in the proverbial doghouse, per se. Kreider was getting things done in some aspect, but he only played in a few number of games, and he really wasn't being as consistent, and he wasn't doing much as well when it came to playing in overtime. So they replaced those guys with Clayton Keller, Tage Thompson, Quinn Hughes, and unfortunately Seth Jones got hurt in the Winter Classic, so he got replaced by Jackson Lacombe. Keller and Thompson weren't the final cuts from Four Nations, but they put up some real good numbers during the regular season that year, and they both played in World Championships. Thompson basically scored the game winner for the United States in the World Championships. It was their first win in 92 years. It was a overtime game winner against Denmark, and from what I remember, one of the commentators said he basically played himself onto the slot for the Olympic team. He's putting up some good numbers right now as well with the Buffalo Sabres. Clayton Keller, also a dynamic player, was putting up very good numbers last year. He's putting up some good numbers this season as well. Both of those guys will definitely help the United States in the power play. Hughes was hurt last year, got injured, so he got replaced on the roster. This time he's healthy. He had a little bit of a situation earlier in the year. He cut his thumb on broken glass at a team event in Chicago. But right now he's good to go, and he's finally healthy. And Seth Jones unfortunately got hurt in the Winter Classic. I think from what they say, he got a broken collarbone. He got replaced by Jackson Lacombe of the Anaheim Ducks. And the one thing that Lacombe does that he's able to replace with Jones, they're both two-way players. Even though they're defensemen, they're both real good two-way players. They know how to set the pace, and they know how to take advantage of the ice as well. So by far, from all the teams that they have set up front, the U.S. has a very decent setup. They got basically the top 2, top 3. But when you look at the defensemen and their goaltending, by far they're the ones top of the list. The Blue Liners, they know how to play the angles. They know how to shut down. They know how to set the pace as well. They got 3 of the best goaltenders they're playing in right now. Starters most likely will be Connor Hellebuck of the Winnipeg Jets. He won the Vezina Trophy as best goaltender, and he also won the Hart Trophy as most valuable player. He's durable. He's really hurt. He knows how to. He doesn't get flustered by any bad goals whatsoever. Most likely, he's going to be your starter. Next is Jeremy Swayman of the Boston Bruins. He was the backup on the team last year. He also played in the World Championships that later that spring as well, and he was the starting goaltender, and he basically put up a shutout when they won against Denmark. And then, of course, and I want Dante to know this, his boy, Jake Ottinger of the Dallas Stars, is also on the list. He's talented. He's a little bit young, but he does have a good amount of experience playing internationally. So while most teams are only having 1 or 2 money goaltenders, the U.S. is the only one that got 3. So you can put any of those 3 players in, and they're going to come and get it done. So it's going to be real interesting to see who they have set up, who's going to be their starter, who's going to be the backup, and who's going to be the line setups as well. And I think one of the things that's going to help the United States, these guys are playing with a heavy heart. And if no one really paid attention, a lot of players, and if you watched the 4 Nations last year, they all said it. And they also said it again for this year. They feel like one player is missing that should have been on this roster, and that's Johnny Gaudreau. And for those who don't know, sadly, Johnny and his brother Matty lost their lives to a drunk driver as a result of a drunk driver visiting their family here in Jersey, and it happened on the day before their sister's wedding. So a lot of hockey players came together. Carter, you got to step out.
No,
Carter,
I gotta house the weather.
what about the weather? Carter, you got to go.
No,
Yes, Carter, you got to go.
I am playing
Carter,
with this.
you got to go.
No.
Yes.
I think we got the highlight. But I did want to ask you. I did want to ask him a
Trey,
question.
you don't even want none of that, do you?
All right.
Hold on. I'm listening. Carter, you got to go.
Okay, so Anton, so real quick, first of all, thank you for the preview. It seems like we have a very deep team and arguably the best goalie staff certainly going into it. But a question I want to ask you, since you're a diehard hockey fan and a football fan, hockey versus NFL, injuries, concussions, what do you think is worse?
Ooh.
First of all, injuries, so again, you tell about broken collarbones, all kind of stuff, and concussions. Because there, you can hit in the NFL, you ain't hitting at 30 miles an hour. So,
Right.
What do you think is most dangerous as far as sports?
It's been hockey. And perfect example, 2000 Stanley Cup playoffs, Eastern Conference Finals. Eric Lindros, he missed most of the 99-2000 season because he was dealing with post-concussion syndrome, trying to recover and everything else. He came back to play in Game 6 in that matchup against the Devils, helped tie the series up at 3. Game 7 was in Philadelphia, and you can pull up the highlight. He's coming down the ice. Scott Stevens comes in, knocks him out with a clean hit. He was never the same after that. And also, Lindros, to his credit, he was one of the forerunners on the importance of concussions. You know, people teased him because he wore a mouth guard and a lot of those other things, but he was the one that helped basically just say, we have to start taking this serious, and that's been one of the biggest problems with the NHL.
Right. Now, has CTE been addressed to the same level as it was in the NFL when all that came out? And did it transfer to the NHL with the same veracity?
Honestly, they haven't really taken it as serious as they could have. They never really took CTE as serious as they could have, and they should have. One thing I will give the NHL credit for is they did change the rules when it comes to some of the hits and everything else. That's what basically played a role, because the hit that Scott Stevens put on Eric Lindros back in 2000, even though it was definitely a clean hit, it wouldn't be seen as a clean hit now.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that's definitely happened is a lot of players are starting to be a little bit more aware, and that was always the biggest problem. A lot of guys play with their heads down. And they always said, if you play with your head down, they're going to ring your bell. So I think a lot of players are getting out of that habit of playing with their heads down and playing with their heads up. And I think that's one of the most important thing. Other things, other than the players wearing mouth guards, is helmet designs. And just like the NFL was making a big, taking that seriously as well. Once we start hearing about CTE, actually the NHL did the same thing as well. Because a lot of the helmets that were okay to wear 20 years ago, you can't even use them now. So
Right.
a lot of the technology has made it a whole lot better for players to not suffer concussions as serious as they was 20 years ago. So I think that is also playing an important role. And one of the other things that helped with the NHL is the changing of a lot of their equipment, especially the shoulder pads, because a lot of their shoulder pads were the hard plastic shells on the shoulders, and that played a role. Some of them also had the hard plastic elbows too. That also played a role. So now the shoulder pads are a little bit more, no more the hard plastic. It's basically more like more like a foam composite that makes it a little bit easier. Same thing with the elbow pads. So a good amount of things like that have helped cut down on concussions as well.
Gotcha. All right, guys.
Hey, Brother Beasley, let me jump in real quick. I'm going to have to
Please.
jump off
Go
here,
ahead.
man. Listen,
Go
man,
ahead.
football is king. Anton, just know that football injuries are far worse, happen more frequently, still rated the number one. And again, man, football is king, man. Hockey.
All right.
Nah.
All right. So hang on. So let's do this. Let's do this. That's going to be, since again we're going to deal with the aftermath of the Super Bowl and again that lull. Let's make that a topic for next week. NHL versus football injuries. Which one's more severe? We can chop that as a topic since we'll have plenty of empty space in the meantime. But let's get to the finals. Let's get to our picks. All right, for this Super Bowl 60. Coming up. So again, we'll just kind of go down the line, and so certainly we'll start with Trey. Since you're our guest tonight, who do you like going in? If you have a score, you can certainly give that or a key to the game. Floor is yours. Who you got?
Yeah, my key to the game is that Seattle Seahawks are led by Sam Darnold, so therefore they're going to lose. That's all you need.
I heard that. I heard that.
Who's the quarterback for the Seahawks? Sam Darnold? Oh, okay. Yeah, they're
Shut
gonna
up.
No, I'm just being funny. Honestly, I believe that the Patriots defense. I was having this conversation with somebody earlier, and they were talking about Jackson and Jigba, JSN, and I was saying if I know the Patriots' style of JSN is going to be double covered the entire game. He may get 50 yards at best. They're not going to let him wreck the game. It could be anybody else. Kenneth Walker might be able to do it. Barner might be able to do it. Somebody else might be able to wreck the game. They are not going to let JSN wreck this game for them. They're just not going to let that happen. That's the Patriot way. Belichick, Vrabel is a Belichick defendant. That's the way they get things done, right? I do believe, though, that the Patriots will win this 17-14. I don't think this will be a blowout. I think this will be actually one of the more boring Super Bowls we've ever seen. I don't expect a whole bunch of fireworks. I think the Seahawks gave up 37 points to their rival. They gave up 37 points to a team or 34 points to a team that they've seen 3 times a year, and they still haven't figured out how to stop them. I think they're going to struggle with Drake May, so I'm taking the Patriots in a 3-point win.
Gotcha. Shawnee?
I think Smith and Jigma, because he was able to find holes versus the Texans defense. Every team in the NFL know that's their number one weapon over there in Seattle, especially for Darnold. And Jigma, he finds holes. And it was a back and forth game versus the Texans, but he was the main reason why Seattle was able to squeak a win versus them when they played in Houston early in the season. With my pick is because with the Patriots, they're a good team, but remember, their defense wasn't always playing like this. They just playing hot right now. They got better as the season went on, but they just playing hot. Now, I know people, they talk about the Patriots schedule. They can't do nothing about that. But one thing that it is interesting, though, their postseason run. Now, the teams they went against in this postseason all have missed significant parts of their offense. From, they took advantage of the Chargers because their offensive line was at risk because they, was injured. And so you saw that's why Herbert was getting sacked all over the place. Texans didn't have their wide receiver one, and they didn't have their tight end one. So then you had a quarterback who just forgot how to play football all of a sudden. But so there was really the person there to take out the offense was Christian Kirk. Well, they could do that. It's not Nico Collins. Then, of course, Denver, no starting quarterback. He's out, so they're playing as a backup. So in the playoffs, we really haven't seen the Patriots having to take away a particular weapon because most likely the weapon was already off the field. So they've taken away option number 2 or option number 3 because option number 1 is not even there. Seattle, I think, is the first team they playing that's pretty much healthy, I guess, in the playoffs. Just healthy, who have their weapons available besides Chardonnay. But Kenneth Walker has been playing well. My pick is Seattle because I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Seattle has the edge on defense because Seattle has a killer defense themselves. They on the same boat as the Texans. You was able to get squeaked by the Texans because of the bad quarterback play. I don't think Darnold going to act like C.J. Stroud. So he has his number 1 receiver. So ultimately they're going to make some plays between the two, and I think that's ultimately going to lead the Seahawks to victory.
Yeah, the score.
Who has the better quarterback, Shawnee? Just out of curiosity, I wanted to know that. Who has the better quarterback? The Seahawks?
I think you stepped off one. Okay. Who has the better quarterback, Shawnee?
Between the two teams? Well, okay, I'll put it like this. Drake May, I believe, is going to finish number 2 in the MVP regular season. He has not looked like that in this postseason, mainly because of the defense he's going against. Now he's about to go against another defense who's on the same caliber as the defense he just played against. So this playoff Drake May has not looked like regular season Drake May. Seattle's Sam Darnold has been consistent throughout this entire season. So if you're telling me right now, it's Sam Darnold. Drake May is getting by because his team, like I say, they are his defense. He made some. Now I'll give Drake. He made plays against the Texans. He made a hell of a play against Booty, and then he made some plays when he had to, but he also had some fumbles. And then with the Broncos, I think we was talking about that last week. That was like the second half almost didn't even exist. That weather plays such a part of that game. It's just like, okay, who could score a field goal? And they barely could score a field goal. But he did make some plays with his legs to some huge plays. But he has not been the same Drake May from the regular season, who I believe will ultimately be second in the MVP voting. I'm still waiting on that Drake May to show up. But Sam Darnold, he's been consistent all season. And we just saw this dude go blow for blow against who many believe will win the MVP in Stafford. And people kept saying, the Rams was his weakness. It wasn't that weak. It wasn't an NFC playoff game, that championship game, because he was going blow for blow against Stafford.
Anton?
I just wanted to get him on the
right. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, I didn't get a score.
Oh, hell. It's a close game. 24-17 Seattle.
Gotcha. Anton?
Well, you already know I'm not picking the evil Empire of Foxborough.
Anybody? Well, you see what I got? Anybody but the Patriots. Yeah.
You know I'm not going to pick the evil Empire of Foxborough. And then they're going to wear their all. And even though they're the home team, they're the designated home team, they're going to wear their all whites like they're stormtroopers. So I think it's going to definitely come close. It's going to be a close game. I'm going to say 28-24 Seahawks, and I think Darnold is going to do the one thing he had a chance to do when he played for the Jets. He's going to exercise that demon when people were saying that he was seeing ghosts. And I remember when people were making fun of him about that, and I think he's going to basically come out and just say, I ain't afraid of no ghosts, and I think that's what he's going to do.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll go with the Seahawks as well. But again, I think like a 21-17 type of game. I just think that Darnold is on a storybook ending. I mean, he had the rebound year last year, 14 games with Minnesota. You're seeing what he's doing now, certainly with Seattle. And I just think this story is one that, has this ending. Drake May's still a young guy, and I think he's going to be around for a while. So, again, I'll do like a 21-17 Seahawks, and so I'll go with that. But certainly look forward to a very entertaining game. Coach put his out. I know he had to step out a little bit early. Seahawks by 10 or more points. He just thinks they're superior. Our guy Big Ruck is in the building tonight. 27-17 Seahawks. Appreciate that. If Dante, if you're still out there in the chat, if you want to give yours in before before we get off the show tonight, certainly you can hop on in.
All on the Seahawks.
Yeah, this is first of all, I'm kind of like Anton. I'm from New Jersey. I can't stand the Patriots. So again, they've always been the evil empire.
I need y'all to be objective here.
Oh, give me a break.
Well, okay. If you want me to be objective, I don't think I know you said they're going to double team in Jigma. Teams have been trying to do that all year, and the guy he just gets open. Like I remember in the Rams game, he scored a touchdown. They went to him like 3 straight times. It's like boom. It's like no, I'm still going here. Oh, pass interference. No, go to him again. Touchdown. I mean, the guy. It's like This guy is. I've never seen this before from a wide receiver. So again, if you shut him down, then the defense certainly gets the MVP of the game. I would give the MVP to the entire defense or the secondary.
The only other receiver that played for the Seahawks that was doing that was DK Metcalf, and the Jigba stepped up after Metcalf went to Pittsburgh. He really stepped up and became that number one. It was like, okay, Metcalf's not here, no problem.
Yeah, so I mean, I just think I can't see him shutting him down, Trey. I just can't see because no one's been able to do it.
I didn't say.
We said 50 yards. That's to me. If that's
50 yards.
That's shut down to me.
50 yards is a serviceable day as a receiver.
Not for him.
If you can get 50 yards, 100 yards is a great day.
Yeah,
Mr. Bennett, the Rams defense, not the Patriots defense.
I understand that, but it's like
on the world's biggest stage, you're not going to let them do that.
But who wouldn't know? Okay, we got to double team in Jigba. I mean, that's like the easiest. That's like the easiest game plan for any defense going into a game.
A lot of these defensive coordinators have egos, though. Right? So, it may be a double team, but it's a soft double team. It's a man with a safety over the top. It's not really a legitimate double team. I am telling you. That man will have a linebacker on him if he runs shallow routes. He will have a safety on him.
That is true, Big Ruck.
It will always be a second man sitting on top.
So
of
you saying they gonna force Cooper Kupp, who is well capable, to beat them? He may not be the Cooper Kupp of the Rams, but he's still skilled.
I said earlier that they will let anybody else beat them. They are not going to let JSN do this dirty work. Because here's the thing: if JSN is going off, everybody going off at that point.
Yeah,
I think they believe that if they can at least try to, I don't think you can stop him, but if you can contain him, I think they think if they can contain, we can at least keep a lid on him. And maybe Kupp goes on, maybe Kupp gets 100 plus yards and a bunch of catches and a couple touchdowns. I think they can live with that. I don't think they can live with JSN going off for $130, 3 touchdowns and having one of those JSN games that he's shown us that he's capable of having, regardless of who's guarding him. I don't think they can come back from that because then you have to allocate resources to JSN, and JSN's already going off, and Cooper Kupp is going off. I think their whole entire goal is going to be to keep JSN at bay. They can live with whatever else happens.
Yeah. The only other thing I'm saying, can New England get a consistent pass rush that will fluster Darnold? I haven't seen that. I mean, I've certainly seen they've been pretty stout, certainly against the run. I haven't seen these guys being able to really, and again, just given their path, again, going against Stroud, going against a second backup in Denver, I don't know if you can get to him. If they can put pressure on him and get him to make those kind of quick decisions and make him kind of convert back to the Jets version of Sam Darnold, I'm like, okay. But I don't know if they can do that. So if you're not going to get a pass rush on them, I think they'll carve them up.
Yeah,
I'm coming back on. We're going to talk about this.
But here's the thing: Darnold's from California. Isn't Darnold from the Bay Area?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. But this is the most complete offense the Patriots going to see all postseason because we just talked about the vulnerabilities of the 3 teams that just played because they was missing. It was huge holes because players they was missing. Well, Seattle may be the better offense than any of the 3 they played, and they come in relatively healthy. So we gonna see Patriots. Okay, we know your defense is playing its best football of any part of the season, but now you're gonna play against a legit offense that's pretty much, I say, about 85 to 90%. So let's see, and see how you go. Cause I don't know the way Drake May play. I don't know if they can keep up if it's a shootout. Because Drake May hasn't shown that yet. Because Seattle has a defense. They're gonna come after Drake May, and he's gonna have to show. He's gonna have to make plays against this bunch of defense. But with Seattle, it's not like they got.
You said against what kind of defense?
Seattle's defense is up there with Houston.
How many points did he just give up in the NFC Championship game?
That's a division rival, though. They did the same thing.
Which means they should know because they played that team 3 times already, right? They played that. They played that.
They gained versus, but
this
the game that they played the third time,
they had a complete understanding in what the Rams would.
Okay, then what they do with the 49ers when they played them for the third time? They destroyed them.
They gave up 30 plus points.
49ers?
How is a defense tough if on the third time around you playing a team, you still gave up 30 points?
I'm just saying the Seahawks defense has been consistently top 2 or 3 all season.
Yeah, but your logic is that Darnold is hot. Darnold is the most consistent. Seahawks lack consistency in the playoffs. They're giving up points.
The biggest points they given up was against the Rams. But
they
that
gave
game,
up 30 points in the NFC Championship.
But that was the same thing what happened to them the last game. So I kind of just watched the Rams game because that was a shootout. Because the Rams played them, scored all these points. The last time they played against the Rams, it was the same thing. Everybody else who was not
it's just the Rams got their number.
Basically, as far as offensively and defense, I was looking at them like, clearly the Rams has the key because it's Matt Stafford though. It's Matt Stafford. Everybody not Matt Stafford. So clearly, and the weapons that they have, clearly the Rams have the Seahawks defensive number, but the 49ers got destroyed, and I forgot who else they played. I think the 49ers was the first team they played because they were the number 1 seed. So I'm saying like, as far as the season, the Seahawks defense has been up there with the Texans. But the Texans defense did give up 21 versus these same Patriots. So they be great defense, but they still, they can give up points. But for Seattle, the only time I really seen them give up points like in a shootout was versus the Rams. Last time I checked, Patriots offense is nowhere near the Rams. Patriots offense is closer right now to the 49ers because right now they're not blowing nothing up. So, hey, I think Seattle defense.
Well, I guess this is why they suit them up, Mr. Baby. We're going to find out on Sunday.
There you go.
If you think about it also, the game's going to be in Santa Clara. The Niners play there. The Seahawks are going to treat this as a divisional game. They're going to treat this as a divisional road game.
Yeah, but it don't matter.
Matter.
It's going to be different. That's not.
I got you.
Yeah, the players don't care where it's at. Now they'll play on concrete.
All right, so we got the last question tonight. First of all, thank you everybody who's been a part of the show tonight. Thank you for Trey and Anton's hopping on. Thank you to the chat. Appreciate you guys participating. Make sure you hit the like button certainly as you leave the show, and consider again subscribing to the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Before we go out, we got to ask the most important question of Super Bowl Sunday. All right, one's got to go. One's got to go. All right,
That's simple for me.
All right, go ahead.
That's simple for me. It's dip. Get it out here. Get out here. Get out there.
See, I would say that, but man, I've had this. I went to this friend of ours we know. She makes this crab dip that's like, Ambrose heaven. It's just like, if we have any gathering, we'll invite her just for the dip. It's that good. So I think it just depends on the quality. I'm not talking about getting some salsa sauce or whatever. I'm talking about she coming over with the crock pot, and that stuff is just unbelievable. So again, I can get with you on the dip. I think I'm choosing nachos. I think the nachos can go there. But yes, definitely give me my pizza, my meat lovers, and definitely give me some wings. Absolutely. But dip, I'm saying I'm putting a caveat. I'm putting a caveat on it. If you give me the right dip, I'm all in. You put that time in, you can have it.
I'm
Right.
just imagining if Black family had all 4 of these items at their Super Bowl party, and we could do something like this, where we go physically over there.
I'm
and say,
saying
"One
if you
must
get
go."
that, I'm saying if you get that right dip, I'm telling you. So you've
I
never
mean-
had somebody whip up. I'm talking about crock pot, that cheesy with the crab meat in there and the shrimp and all that. You haven't had something like that?
I know one item is going to be untouchable. It's the wings. You go to somebody's house and throw away their wings, you may not make it out there alive.
Oh man. Anton, what about you, sir? One's got to go.
Wow.
One's got to go.
Love pizza. Love wings.
You from Jersey, so we got to love pizza.
Yeah, definitely. I know.
So-
I know, definitely. Oh, wow. It's got to be. Oh, damn it. Why you got to be like this? Oh.
Come on.
I can survive without dip. I can survive with the dip. I can survive without dip. Nachos, you can't go wrong. Wings, it got to be spicy, of course. And I don't like dipping it in the ranch or blue cheese either.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza, definitely. The greasier, the better. And I don't understand why people dip it in
What are your
ranch
What are your
as well.
toppings? Must have toppings.
Oh, pepperoni, sausage, extra cheese, plain simple.
Oh, you make it sloppy, man. You pick that thing up and it's just dripping off. I got you. Trey, one's got to go. Now, again, like I said, that dip thing when I had that, I would have probably said dip too. But when I tasted that dip, I was like, I was hooked. I can't, it has to, if I get that one, I can't get rid of it. Nachos can go.
Me and my daughter's mom don't often get along, but she will from time to time make me this dip that I asked for.
See, it's like once you have it, see, that's the problem, Shawnee. You haven't had the dip. You haven't had that special recipe that will
My
make you do
sister-in-law
things
has
that
this
you wouldn't
dip.
even do. You will make friends out of enemies. You will invite people you don't like over to your house because you know they're making that dip.
What I'm hearing though, the dip got to be made by a superior cook.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying in general. Like I said, pizza and wings. Those are. I don't care. Unless you're talking about that Cali pizza with the veggies and all that kind of stuff. That's one thing. But like I said, that I'm saying that dip that will you will bite your tongue because that person they make it and you try to even you can't even replicate it. It's like I think I can make this, and you can't.
Yeah, Mr. Bennett, I'm gonna have to go with nachos. Nachos gonna have to go for me.
Thank you.
Really?
I think I can live. I think I can live without nachos, man.
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. Well, guys,
Certainly. Listen, pizza. Well, you can't even have a Super Bowl really without pizza.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even know how. I don't even know how you even have a Super Bowl without pizza and wings.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I don't even. At this point, I don't even know. Even so much so that my 7-year-old daughter even knows. So, like Super Bowl Sunday means she gets to have pizza. She gets to have pizza.
That's it.
So, and her mom will make the dip for me. We'll get along for about 2 hours.
That's some good dip right there.
So yeah, it's gonna be. You know what? And now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever had nachos on Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl
anyway,
Sunday?
so I'm not missing out on anything.
Really?
Plus, there's so many different degrees. I mean, like you load it up. I mean, you get you put the meat in it, and it's like it's like basically like a taco salad after a while. I mean, it's not just your there's so many different recipes of it, I guess.
Yeah.
And you can make it like into a meal. But yeah. But I just
I
wanted
will
to
tell
just
you
drop.
one thing that we do, Mr. Bennett, that I'm
What's
not
that?
looking forward to. We take shots for any missed field goals, and we take shots for any turnovers.
Okay.
What's your poison?
I am not looking forward to that part.
Yeah,
Trey,
what's your poison?
Well, typically my poison is Crown Royal. I keep it there because that's the best I could do.
Right.
I'm not a big drinker, Mr. Betty. You know this. I don't drink. I'm not a big drinker.
Right,
I don't drink.
right.
I really don't drink at all. This
Right.
will actually be the first time I've drank in probably over a year and a half.
Yeah.
I don't drink. I'm not a big
Right.
drinker at all.
Right.
But I don't want to be the party pooper guy that.
Exactly, yeah.
Fill mine with water. I don't want to be that guy. So I'll play along with this and go along with it. But I just tell them, give me the light stuff, man, because I drank a lot in the military. I drank a
Okay,
lot.
fair point.
I drank
Guilty
a
as well.
lot. I was a DJ. I was a DJ at the NCO
Oh,
club.
man.
I drank a lot.
Right.
And I'm surprised my liver is even still working.
Bro, honestly, anyone that's in the service, that's like a requirement. You got to know how to drink. Plain and simple.
Yeah. The right dip, black men and women. maybe that's the answer to our problems between the black man and black women. We need to focus on the dip. Maybe that'll bring us together. Maybe we can, we've been looking for a solution for 6 years. Maybe that's it.
Yo, gotta give Big Rock that. I like that.
Like when I asked her, I'm like, hey, Super Bowl Sunday. She's like, I already know. I already went to school. She happy to do it for me.
All right, so BMU on your next flipping tables or whatever, we're gonna bring this up. Maybe dip is the solution to our problems in the community. But guys, again, I want to thank you guys certainly for participating again. Chat, you guys have been awesome tonight. Appreciate you guys. Big Ruck 77. Always appreciate you being part of the conversation. Again, make sure you hit that like button and certainly enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy the week. We'll come back. Certainly, we'll do a recap. Certainly, we all come back, but certainly enjoy yourselves. Be safe out there. For everybody, take care. God bless, and we will see you next time. Good night.
Let's watch that hockey.